All right, Alex. So I did my research, and is this true? You had 20 ideas before this one?
I mean, at least,
Yeah.
right? Three failed businesses, but a million ideas. Classic. I don't know if you ever watched Recess. Hustler kid, always selling a bunch of
That
whatever
was
I could get my hands on. So yeah, a lot of ideas, most of them bad.
okay. So that was you. You were the hustler kid at recess.
100%.
That's awesome. So this has been in your blood.
Yeah,
Entrepreneur.
it's been in my blood. Although interesting enough, zero entrepreneurs in any of my family on either side. So I'm kind of like this black sheep, but yeah, I was going door to door selling whatever I could, mowing lawns, pulling weeds, and then got into products and whatever I could sell. It's just in the blood. I love it.
You know why? Why do you like? What's the feeling? What's the feeling in there?
I don't know. Convincing someone to do something. I don't know. And like obviously, I like money too. I mean, I like what it offers, um, but I just like the idea of like creating a story and a narrative and getting someone to like understand what I'm thinking. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's quite fun.
Yeah. You still think about the failures ever?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, my office is like littered with them because I think of them as badges of honor. So my office right now at the facility that I'm in Minneapolis at Bizzy, right now is like new. So we just have like some pretty blank walls, but my home office, I mean, I have a whole wall, like a shrine of my failures. Because I think they're just lessons, right? They're reminders of like, oh, this didn't work because of this. So don't do it again.
Yeah.
Um, I don't dwell on them by any means though, but I definitely try to remind myself that like Bizzy's going well now, but like that's because of the failures, earlier.
Yeah. All right. Before I jump into Busy, is there one failure that you thought for sure was the winner, but it just wasn't?
Most of them have been ones that I haven't truly like went after. I guess I've had more businesses even than I can recount when I think about it. We had one in COVID. It was just like a little side project my co-founder and I were working on with actually had an intern running it. It was called Perky Plant, and it was like a plant fertilizer.
Okay.
And it like crushed on Amazon for like the first 3 months. And I was like, holy crap, this is just mailbox money. This is so simple. And then like everyone had already bought their house plants and they all died after COVID. And they're like, all right, I'm done with this. So I thought that one was going to be a slam dunk for sure. The margins were so good. It was so easy to acquire customers. That was probably one I thought was going to like be a real sleeper, but again, wrong.
Yeah.
But it's on the shrine for sure.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Honestly, I haven't had that one in my idea book. I can't say that was.
It's just opportunistic. I'm like, okay, I'm good at Amazon. I had a house plant, and I just like went to Helium 10 and looked at what the revenue of the category was, and I was like, shit, I can do this, and I can hire someone to make it in a warehouse. This is super easy. We happen to have like a large fertilizer distributor like down the street from us.
Yeah.
So I was like, all right, let's give it a shot.
That's right.
And just swung for it. Because that's like, it's just a new challenge, right? It's like, did I love the fertilizer industry? No.
Yeah.
Plants are cool, so that's fun, but it's not like the biggest dream on the planet, that's for sure.
I don't think most founders would say that what they're doing was their biggest dream or their passion. I personally don't believe that. I believe that you become passionate about something that's a good opportunity. That's what I believe.
Yeah, no, I hear you there.
But okay, origin story though. So, I mean, let's see if I got this right. So there's the acid reflux. Is this actually how this came about?
That's a key part of the story. So my co-founder and I have been friends since like middle school. He's been on this journey of me coming up with bad ideas and jumping on board for a long time. And so we had like two other legit businesses before Bizzy together that didn't work out. They're in the shrine. And so we kind of were like, okay, why did the first two fail? And we basically put together kind of like an opportunity map, a little Venn diagram, because one of them we were like really excited about. We got a patent, we raised a little bit of money, ended up shutting it down. And we're like, why did this thing fail? And basically the two primary reasons is one of them, like it wasn't consumable. Yeah. So like we acquired a customer, they didn't buy it again. And then the second one was no one was like actively searching for it. So we had to like educate. So we basically were like, all right, let's create a little Venn diagram. actively searching for it. There's tons of demand, and it's consumable. So when you acquire a customer, you keep them. So that was like this giant box that we had that fits millions of businesses. And we were like really into health and wellness. This was back when Tough Mudder was like all the rage. And we had done some Tough Mudders, and one night we were drinking beers because we're roommates and drinking buddies. And we're like, let's like travel and do a Tough Mudder like out of state or something. Yep. And there was a 24-hour version on like this list of all the events. And we're like, you know what? Let's just do it. Let's just freaking sign up for this thing. But we're super competitive people, you know, much like everyone and that's an entrepreneur, like want to win. Yep. And so we just took it like really seriously. It was a team event, and we're like, we're just going to freaking win this thing. So we're training our asses off, and we're both working our corporate jobs. I'm at General Mills. I think at the time he's at St. Jude Medical, maybe. He's a mechanical engineer. I was doing like marketing and finance. And so we're just like not sleeping at all. Very competitive. Our living room was an office. Whoever fell asleep first lost. I mean, it was competitive grinders, like very unhealthy, frankly. Didn't sleep for like 3 years. And so I was like falling asleep at my desk. And so we're just like, okay, what sort of energy product can we drink to stay awake that's like socially acceptable to drink a gallon of it in public? Because we, you know, both drinking it at the office. Yeah. And it's like General Mills has a very specific, you know, company culture. You're not going to be walking around drinking 4 Red Bulls all day. It's just like culturally, like not the vibe there. Okay. And coffee is awesome, right? It's high caffeine, it's sugar-free, it's good for you. You can drink a ton of it. But then to your point, the problem is like gives you gut rot. And so Andrew was getting like really bad heartburn. Yep. And we were roommates, we're drinking pots of it, you know, splitting all the bills. And I was just getting really hot and sweaty and uncomfortable drinking that much hot coffee. We're both like, this kind of sucks. It's 2013. And just like, this is right when Cold Brew was a thing. And so there was like the local coffee shop that was offering it, but it was like, even at the time, it was like $5 a cup. And there's kind of some frugal Midwesterners in Minneapolis were like, this is insane. And Andrew was a beer brewer in college. So he's just like a foodie, he knew like fluid systems and stuff from his previous job. So he's just like, let's just start making it. And we're drinking the product. And again, we're in Minnesota. It's like negative 20 degrees in the winter. And we're still drinking cold coffee. And we're like, okay, this product is just like better. It's lower in acid. It's higher in caffeine. You can drink a ton of it publicly. You can customize it. And then, so like, as we were looking at this Venn diagram, we're looking at a couple of other like nutrition type of businesses, like ready to eat meals and stuff. And we're like, man, this, as we kept looking at the category, in hindsight, I'm like, this is a terrible category. But at the time I was like, this is a gigantic business. Not only is it consumable, like it's addictive. You have withdrawals if you don't have it. Yeah. The average consumer spends $1,100 a year. At the time, I was like, this is a huge market. Well, and we believe that the future of it was cold.
What's crazy to me is that anyone listening now would be like, duh, cold brew, right? But I feel like back then when you're looking at it, it's like, this is new-ish, right?
It was nothing. Yeah. It was like a $50 million category. Yeah, it was nothing. Yeah. It was so nascent. It was only at coffee shops. And you know, we're not the only ones that had this idea, right? There's been 100, 200 entrepreneurs that have, even as there's already been a bunch of wins and failures, people still try to do it. Yeah. But we kind of threw our hat in the ring, like this could be a big market. Our hypothesis, which is different than everyone else, and for the most part, was like, we wanted to win at home. We knew 85% of coffee was consumed at home. Yeah. And so we said, hey, Folgers, Maxwell House, they're not going to be able to do liquid, because they're a kind of a shelf-stable, dry grocery business, and they're not going to be able to appeal to the next generation. Yeah. So we're like, we're going to just go for it. We wanted a high-quality product at a great price. And so for us, we basically went into the multi-serve category, you know, big bottles consumed at home, mixed with creams and sugars, however you wanted. Our strategy was be the base of the cup. And we thought that there was going to be a macro shift from hot to cold. And people were going to just want a high quality, good value product that would live in their fridge. So we basically spent, once we kind of like said, this is our market, we're going after this category. That was like August of 2013. You know, we're going to like the local co-op down the street to get whole bean coffee that we were brewing in mason jars. And then we spent like the next probably 18-ish months, like really refining the strategy, the business plan, the taste profile. And then in September of 2015, so like 2 years later, basically, we got into an accelerator in New York and went full time and never looked back.
Wow. Wow. 2 years. 2 years is a long time of development.
It was a long
Especially
time.
when
It was a long
you
time.
don't fully know. Yeah. I think that's the thing that I think most people don't get is like you knew there was something in there for 2 years. You could see this vision, even though just there was
Mm-hmm.
nothing else. Nothing else. Um,
Right. Right.
so you launch now. Obviously, you guys are in what is it, 7,500 plus locations, or is it more than that
I think
now?
we're probably in like 13,000 if I had to guess.
13,000 locations
Yeah.
now. So
Yeah.
it worked. The idea, other people liked the idea. Cold Brew became what
Yeah.
Cold Brew is, right? It is, and your hypothesis was so right. I have Cold Brew in my fridge all the time.
Yeah.
And yeah, I think it even becomes a point where people go to, the big guys, they go to Starbucks and they're like, wait a second, I can just get this in my fridge. And I think that is the light bulb that goes off. You're like, I can just have this every
Mm-hmm.
morning. And it's convenience too. I think you hit that world of convenience that America especially has just like latched onto. But I'm gonna skip forward if that's all right, because so as I'm looking, you hit profitability in 2024.
Yeah, after about 10 years.
Okay.
So yeah,
So,
finally did. It was brutal.
Yeah.
We made it there.
Yeah, exactly. And that is one, congrats that you hit profitability in 2024. I also want to know, that's a long 10 years potentially. I would love to know in your head, like, what are these challenges that people face that people don't understand is being faced when, they're probably seeing you. Oh, the retail locations are expanding. Like, these guys are everywhere. These guys are absolutely killing it on all fronts. And you're sitting there looking, going, well, we're not profitable yet. And like, I want to know what that feels like. I want them.
I think the metaphor that I've like heard before is it's like, it's the duck swimming in the pond and like above the water, it's composed in like this elegant animal, but below the surface, it's frantically treading water. And I think that's like a good metaphor for what it was like. So, I mean, we started in 2013. Andrew and I, my co-founder, self-funded it for the first 2 years to like do R&D and trials and visit co-packers and test products. And we were flat broke. And, we went through this journey and we've grown revenue every year, double digits, some years, many years, triple digits. And, on the surface, right, revenue is vanity, profit is sanity. And so like, it looks really good.
Yeah.
Like from the outside looking in, it's like we keep growing store count. We're Amazon's #1 bestseller. We built a manufacturing facility because we had to. But all of that requires so much money. And, food and beverage in big box retail is extremely capital intensive. And so like, as you grow, you need more cash. You have to pay slotting, you have to do promotions. And we're like buying equipment. So normally it's like, all I got to do is spend money on marketing and payroll, but like I got to buy hard assets, semi trucks. I got to put in floor drains and tear up concrete, and everything just gets so expensive. And it's brutal. So like I would go through this cycle every single year where it's like, okay, what's the next big idea I have to have so that I can convince a new investor to come in and like fund the losses and the potential growth for the next year. So it was brutal. Every like summer, we're like, okay, we're seasonal. So in the summer, it's like revenue super high, we're high flying. And I would have this like panic every summer because I'm like, shit, we're about to run out of money in like December, January. And I need to raise money, which means I need to close by like November, because the world shuts down from an investor lens, like basically at Thanksgiving. No one does anything until like the new year.
Yep.
So like every year I would go through this cycle where I had to get money in the door by November, which means I had to come up with like a new shiny strategy, idea, something. So it's like spring would hit and it's like, okay, we have our plan, we hit the ground running, then it's summer, and I'm more or less like panicking, like shit. And I'm, the CEO, the visionary, the sales guy, the fundraiser. So I'm like, I got to come up with this idea. I got to build this pitch deck, and then I got to go pitch as many people as I can to then get money to survive.
Are you pitching them in person? Like, are you flying around the country pitching these people? Are you on
whatever it took? I mean, I've done. COVID was great because it was just strictly video for the most part. But I mean, we're in Minneapolis in 2017. We did like a real priced preferred round of equity, and that was led by a group in Chicago.
Yeah.
And so I would go to Chicago every year with being like, hey, I need more money. And sometimes they would invest, sometimes they wouldn't. I'd have to go court new people. So I would always go to Chicago like once or twice a year. I'm taking video calls constantly. Obviously, I'm going to the trade shows and doing those things. But I mean, it was brutal. So I went on this fundraising cycle literally every single year from 2015 until, we did it again last year. I mean, literally, I've done it every single year of my entrepreneurial career. And sometimes, I didn't raise the money, so then I had to go to I would do Amazon loans. I've done SBA debt where I have personal guarantees. I've done private credit. I mean, every type of financing you could possibly imagine, we've done. And it was just this brutal cycle. So yeah, it was super tough for those first 11 years.
This is the first 11 years. The phrase of that, yeah. This first, oh my gosh, there's so much. There's so much there. I was thinking this whole time, I'm like, man, this is what MBA classes cannot teach. When you're just in this full survival mode, and so you're in survival mode for the business, but I guess on the personal side, did any of that obviously this is stressful, right? I'm listening to this, I'm stressed about it, and you say the panic setting. Have you had any, was there any anxiety that came with this, truly actually affected you physically? Right? Did anything ever come up in this? Because you're in survival mode for essentially 10 years, right? And so your brain, is trying to save the business and do that. But for me, what I have understood from our side of things when I was in survival mode, we finally get out of it. And my brain's still wait a second, I'm used to this. This is what I know, even though it's not good. No, has any of that impacted you, just on a personal level?
Yeah, I mean, my brain has been completely rewired for chaos.
Yeah.
And when things are normal, which is very rare, it's happened for a couple months, here and there, a couple of times, I find myself seeking chaos in my personal life. And I'm just what the hell is going on? Because I was just I've been in this fight survival mode for over a decade.
It's normal. That's your new normal, essentially.
It is. And fortunately, doing those 24-hour races, I've really, I would say, trained my mind to be pretty strong and left foot, right foot, just keep going. Just keep going. You will finish the race. You don't fail until you quit. Just keep going. And so I've had to, I meditate. I listen to specific songs that are positive and, putting these seeds into my brain to just keep going. There's a song called Pump It Up and classic, Spotify Wrapped, whatever it was called.
Yeah.
And 2 years in a row, it was my number one song. And it literally just says, you've got to pump it up. That's the whole song. It's all it says, literally. And so, totally bled into the personal life.
Yeah. It's funny you say, it's actually so interesting you say that. I was just listening to another podcast about HRV, about understanding that piece with mental health. And I guess for anyone that does heart rate variability, it's a big topic for a lot right now. Obviously Whoop tracks it and everything else, but music and certain rhythms, how that actually can have a positive impact on your body feeling safe or your body feeling like it's just in control, was something I didn't know. But there are certain there's certain tones, certain things so fascinating to me. But the other thing that I've realized, like you just said, the race, do you still do any of the races, or is that long gone? Do you still get out there?
My bandwidth has been pretty tapped.
Yeah,
I did Ironman in 2018. I was training to do a
crazy.
half Ironman in 2021, but I like crashed on a one wheel and exploded my elbow 2 days before it, so I didn't get to do that. But I've done other stuff. Like I did like a triathlon in Park City, and then
Yeah,
I just did like kind of other Misogi type stuff. Andrew and I just did like a backpacking trip in Alaska, which was pretty epic. And I've done like some 14ers. So
yeah.
other challenging type of things, but definitely nothing as like demanding as like killing yourself for 24
Yeah.
hours. Yeah.
It's just, I think that piece of the mental strength, though, you're so right. Of you've put yourself through that physically, and there's just like another level that you can tap into. That, especially from
Absolutely.
like someone that has an anxious mind, that has been something. I just went on a hike. It was just under a 14er with my buddies out in Colorado literally last week, and I was like the whole time
Awesome.
sitting there going, dude, I'm like gonna die. I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
I can't breathe at all. It's just simulating every symptom of a panic attack fully. But like,
Yeah.
we get like 8 miles, like 8 miles round trip, and we get back, and like in your head, you're going, oh, okay, I could do that. And then honestly, the next thing is, well, what's the next level that I could do? Because my
Mm-hmm.
body could do that, and then I found in any situation back home, even if you're stressed in the office, if you're stressed in personal life, you're like, well, I could handle that. So I think that's
Mm-hmm.
something that, because I get a lot of comments, DMs. There's like people struggling, like how do I handle some of these things? And I'm like, well, unfortunately, life just throws shit right at you, and I have found, yeah, those physical feats has been so powerful for the mental side, and
Yeah, I'm totally aligned. And like this idea of the misogi, I know it's like fairly popular
yeah,
right now. I mean, I 100% believe in it. And like, I didn't realize that that's what I had been doing with
yeah,
these 24-hour
you're
races
just
and
doing
these
it.
Ironmans. This was 10 years ago, right? Before that term was like a
Should have
thing.
started making content about
And
it.
I mean, it's amazing, and I like love it. I look forward to it. I train it. It's a fun creative outlet. And then to your point, you like more or less kill yourself, and hopefully you were successful, right? 50-50 chance of success. But then when you do, it's just like, holy cow,
Yeah,
because it puts your mind, your emotions through all of the same challenges that you face. But then it's like, oh wow, there's actually a finish line, and I can complete it. And then ideally, you've done a decent job taking a photo or something. And
yeah.
then, like, I got one of those on my desk where I'm like, I remember the first year I did that 24-hour race. I still have that picture. And I'm like, shit, if I can do that, I can do anything,
Yeah.
right? As long as you don't quit.
As long as you don't quit. That's entrepreneurship. There's no finish line.
You know?
There's no finish line. You That's why I always tell people, I'm like, I grew up in sports my whole life, and I'm like, the biggest thing and the biggest difference is there would be a championship every year. Entrepreneurship, I'm like, there's just you just keep climbing, you keep climbing. If you
Mm-hmm.
fall, guess what? Good news. There still isn't a finish line. So you
Yeah.
just keep grinding it through. And yeah, it's a long time. But I want to get back to the raising money is interesting. We've not raised money. And I think I had Brandon.
Congratulations.
Yeah, yeah. Thank you. We've used line of credit from the bank is pretty much the extent of what we've used to grow Frost Buddy. And then,
Mm-hmm.
I just had Brandon from Montana Knife Company on last time, and I don't believe they've raised either. And I think there was a quote in here. It is tough and not for the faint of heart. I don't know who you said that to or where you said it, but you know, I want to understand the latest raise, and was it an emergency raise? And
Yeah.
just take me through that, because you're profitable, and then correct me if I'm wrong, the price of beans changes,
Yeah.
and it's
Yeah. So we were,
completely out of your control. And
mm-hmm.
now you're going, well, shit. Like, I'm how am I supposed to sleep when a bean price on the other side of the world, or maybe wherever, I don't know where they're sourced, is literally just deciding my profitability even though I'm actually doing everything right.
Mm-hmm.
Is that?
Yeah, I mean, I'll walk you through it. So, you had mentioned earlier 2024, first year of profitability. And, we've grown revenue every year. So we're like, okay, scale got us there. And we're at scale now. Like, we're profitable. We've crossed the chasm, the trough of sorrow, whatever entrepreneurial term you want to use. And me and my co-founder, I mean, we're high-fiving. We're like, holy shit, we finally did it. 11 years, like, the proverbial finish line. We're like, finally. We can hire people and not kill ourselves and sleep and all these things. And then there was a frost in Brazil. So prices went up, and then the tariffs hit. And all of a sudden, not only were there tariffs, there was a specific tariff on Brazil, which is the largest producer of coffee. So think of it very similar to like the Strait of Hormuz closing. Even though we have our own oil is way more expensive.
Yeah.
But instead of it going up like 20%, it tripled. And we sell coffee. We brew coffee. I brew 15,000 pounds of coffee a day. So when your cost triples, it kills you.
Yeah.
And there's nothing you can do about it. And the difference in our category, which was why earlier I said, like, I wouldn't do it again. This category is brutal. Mm-hmm. In like shelf-stable bagged coffee, it's what's called a pass-through category. So as their commodity goes up or down, they change the price on shelf. So like eggs go up, they go down, coffee goes up, it goes down. Yep. Our category, because it's like a bloodbath and everyone's fighting to be the final like 3-4 brands in the category as it matures, no one passed a price increase. And all of our competitors are gigantic publicly traded companies, and we're not. So they can absorb some losses in the coffee division because the creamer division's killing it and spitting off cash. Doesn't matter to them. So there's nothing we can do on the pricing side. So we're just eating this cost. And it was immediate impact to our business, like 30 days. I mean, this was like a holy shit moment. Yep. There's nothing we could do. We saw it coming. Like 30-day notice, basically 45. We had some cash, and then it's obviously started slowly dwindling, and we had to do an emergency raise, and this is like super emergency. Holy shit! If I don't do this, we're fucked. I don't know if I can swear or not, but we're in trouble here.
You can,
and we're gonna go into business, and we've never been more successful, and we just had our first profitable year. Everybody knows it. I've been talking to all these investors for forever. And boom. The funny part is, like, everybody wanted to invest equity. Everybody, because they knew there was so much blood in the water. They're like, holy crap, this business is on fire. If I can just stabilize this business through this commodity cycle, because that's all it is. It's just a commodity cycle. I'm going to make a killing. Yeah. Because our back was up against the wall. There was nothing we could do. Yeah. And I'm a hard-nosed entrepreneur, and I'm not going to take shit from nobody. And I was like, I'm not raising equity. And so I basically did like an emergency private credit round that had like personal guarantees and crazy interest and all of these like bells and whistles, so that I didn't have to sell any equity because of all these other triggers that would impact the business down the road. It was basically not an option. And, so yeah, we did this like super emergency fundraise. I closed it in like 45 days. It was not desirable, more personal guarantees, crazy interest, but it bridged us. And when I did this capital raise, there was like no line of sight. Coffee was through the roof. Yeah. There were still tariffs on coffee. And I was just like, we're just going to figure it out. I need 3 months to like kick the can to like figure out what I'm going to do next. And then kind of through that process, the tariffs were lifted for all of coffee. It became exempt. And then once that happened, all of a sudden the whole market just went back down and it dropped. It's still crazy high, but like half of what it was. And, so we locked in all the coffee immediately for the whole year. Because I'm like, okay, this is the best it's going to get. We can be fine here. And then we just went by every single line on the P&L and said, where can we cut? What can we do to just like build this business as efficiently as possible? And we ended up like somehow getting 35% increase in yields through like Andrew's wizardry as our R&D engineering on house. So like we just got so efficient.
Yep.
And then all of a sudden, like with the coffee prices coming down, all of a sudden like the business is back and it's better than it's ever been. But like through that, call it, the tariffs were, I think, August, and then until like June. So whatever that is, 9 months. I mean, it was like scary. Short paying vendors, like missing payments. I mean, it was like very dicey. And I kind of saw the light at the end of the tunnel, but it was real sketchy. We had to do another short-term bridge loan on top of the emergency round.
And you were throwing personal guarantees on these.
Yeah, I even had to put more money in, and I don't have shit for money. Like and I didn't pay myself for like 4 months.
I mean, it was like, are you sleeping good? Were you sleeping good?
Now, yeah, I just got the results for July a few weeks ago. I'm sleeping great.
Yeah, okay,
right now.
Good. We're back.
But I mean, for those, like, honestly, from like September to May, were like worst I've ever had. And I had just gotten married too, and I'm like so strapped for money. I'm like almost missing my own personal bills. What is going on here? Crazy.
How is your wife in all of this? As you're going through that, is that like a rock for you during all of that, or is there a toll that it takes on her as well?
Massive toll it takes on her,
right? Like
for sure, because like I was a finance major, right? And I like really am good with money, and I'm fairly frugal, which is probably why I'm good with money. But like really, there's no risk of like me getting in financial trouble, right? There's just none. And I don't come from money. I'm just like intelligent about how I spend and save and those types of things. But it had gotten so tight that I'm like literally looking at my weekly cash flow to make sure I can like pay my personal bills and like try and take a couple bucks out of here and there. And I went from like the most flush I'd ever been, which is like not very flush. I'm not a wealthy person, but like personally, at one point I had $11, so $1,000 is a lot of money, right?
Yeah.
And all of a sudden I had no money at all. All my credit cards were maxed out because I like had to float not paying myself as the owner, right? And the CEO. And it was brutal. And it was brutal on us too, because we had just gotten married. So I'm paying for the wedding, I'm paying for the honeymoon. And all of a sudden I have like no money. The business is maxed out on its line of credits. I'm putting in every penny I can to just like make payroll. So it was brutal.
This is 2 years ago. Like not even.
This is like 3 months ago.
This is 3 months ago.
It was like from end of 25 to early 26.
Oh my!
Like panic stricken for a year. Brutal.
That is wow. I'm so glad that you came, because this is like the best version of a bloodbath of entrepreneurship that I think I could have. And honestly, like obviously a lot of categories when the tariff hit, you're like a lot of them were like, wow, I now no longer can make money at all. Doing what like we were like, I did the math and I said, okay, if we have a good 2025, we might lose $600,000. Like if we have a really, like I'm like, if we knock it out of the park, and I'm sitting there going, why am I doing this? Like I'm just like, I'm like, my employees are still gonna make money, right? I'm still gonna pay them. And at the end of the day, I'm just not gonna, I'm gonna pay myself the minimal amount that I need and hope that something changes. Because at that point, when it was tariff, you're like, there's absolutely nothing that you can do. So you're like, you work your ass off, all for it to just go like, okay, totally. I got to rework.
Yeah. But on the flip side, though, all of a sudden, for us at least, things went from like legit panic to your point, not sleeping, had to like really implement a supplement routine so I could basically drug myself to sleep. And I'm like a natural, we sell organic coffee. I don't like taking anything.
Yeah. Well, like I'm a big magnesium guy.
For sure.
Like, is there more? Is there more to it that I need to get?
No, but that's more than I would have ever done before. Yeah. You know what I mean? So like doing something at least.
Yeah.
And, but then all of a sudden, like we had just laser focused on just like optimizing the business, improving margins, being way more predictable, locking in coffee, hedging. So like the business became like on a per bottle basis, like way more profitable. And then all of a sudden, tariff refunds. And it was because we didn't pass on any pricing and we
Oh,
ate 100% of it.
wow.
So then all of a sudden, like right now, I'm like just starting at these tariff refunds. And I'm just
You're
like, I was so panicked for so
yeah.
long to now I'm just like,
Yeah.
yeah,
Like Superman
like
under
hell yeah.
that.
All right, we did it. We did it. We freaking did it. We made it.
But I mean that right there is like, to me it's like, yeah, you get to the other side, you're like, wow, let's go. And
100%.
honestly, just I and I don't know what you think in terms of entrepreneurs, founders, even people in general. I think a lot of people, one, we move life's fast. We don't appreciate and we don't like celebrate the small wins like that. Like I was such a like, I gotta grind, I gotta hustle. Like I can't appreciate this milestone because like we're on to the next. And like as I've gotten older and as the business has matured, I'm like, shit, I really need to like, I need to appreciate all of these little,
Mm-hmm.
any little win. Like I just need to sit there and like tell my brain, tell my body, like we're doing it. We're grateful. Um, I love that. I love that it has turned. So it has turned. We're
It has
it turned.
turned. It
Okay.
has turned officially. Like we just had our monthly business review with the leadership team, and it's like, guys, we did it. We totally swung this ship around, and it's a slow business. I mean,
Yeah.
things move so slow in beverage manufacturing. Like nothing is fast.
Yeah.
I mean, like we had our annual planning meeting in November, and it was like, holy shit, batten down the hatches, cut, 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 go raise the money. We did. And now we're like totally back, and everyone's just like high fiving. The culture's never been better. It's just like win
Awesome.
after win, and yeah, so it feels completely different than it did 60 days ago. Even
That's awesome. I love that. I mean, yeah, it's the best one on the shelf. So I mean, I'm bullish. I'm bullish.
yeah,
Which brings me to the next point of like, you're in this category. I mean, Starbucks jumps in, right? And what is it, La Columbia or whatever?
La
Like
Cologne, Stokes,
everybody,
everybody's jumping in.
all these giants of giants jump in. Now, were you prior to them? Like, when did they jump
Starbucks had like a 48-ounce iced coffee. That's still like their biggest one. Stoke was a big one,
in? Yeah.
but
So
like the category started from like dairy companies, lattes,
yeah.
creams, and sugars, and the category evolved into just like black coffee that's a medium roast or a dark roast or something, and that's all that we've ever done.
Mhm.
So we were probably, I would argue, like first into that idea of like a portfolio of black coffee for at-home occasion that's like meant to be a base, if you will.
Mhm.
And then they all came in, and probably the better question is like, our number one bestseller is the espresso blend.
Yep.
And we were the only one selling an espresso blend for like 3 years. And now every single manufacturer has an espresso
Yeah.
blend, like every single one. And they're just knocking our products off at
Yeah.
this point, which is, it's tough, but the imitation is the most sincere form of flattery. So,
Yeah, and there's
so I
not
keep
really,
telling
I
myself,
assume there's not really protection against that in this. Yeah. Yeah. Like I can patent
no,
things. I have my utility patents where, Yeti cannot come and do this. But yeah, that I'm going to ask this because one, I'm curious, and I think a lot of people are curious. The difference between an espresso blend, a breakfast blend. I need to know
mm-hmm.
this so personally because I stare at them in the store and I go, how am I supposed to know which one's going to taste different?
Totally.
And this is
Yeah, I
nothing to
think
do with this podcast, to be honest. Not what it's supposed to be about at all. But I'm just so genuinely curious.
no. I mean, so it's all marketing, right? It's all marketing bullshit. But
Dang it.
like the reality and the way that we view it is like it's a spectrum of the roast. So generally speaking, the lighter the roast, if all things are brewed to the same strength, the lighter the roast, the higher the caffeine content.
Okay.
You're gonna get, when you have a lighter roast, you're gonna get more of the like nuanced flavors of the origin, so of the type of coffee. On the dark side, if it's a dark roast, it just is going to taste like roasty, toasty, essentially, which is why everyone says Starbucks is such a dark roast, because they can buy coffee from anywhere and it tastes the same. It's a very smart supply chain strategy. So everything in between that, right, is different. So the more light, the more nuanced flavors, the darker, the darker. And so for us, we have our light roast, which is light. Breakfast blend is a medium light. Then we have our medium roast. Then we have our espresso blend, which is like a medium dark. And then we have our Italian, which is a dark, dark. And so the espresso blend it's a blend of coffees at a roast profile that's intended to emulate the flavor of espresso, but it's really just like marketing language for a medium dark roast.
Got it. That I knew it was bullshit. I needed to know this. Now when I go to the store, I'm gonna be so. I mean, I just need the espresso blend. That's all I'm getting. Actually, I usually get your breakfast blend. That's actually the one that I think
That's
the
my
flavors.
I'm breakfast or medium typically, unless I'm in like a mood. But typically, like my dailies,
Yeah.
I'm a middle of the road kind of guy.
I'm like the flavor of it, just black. I put nothing in it.
Yep. Interesting fact, 96% of cold coffee drinkers have it cream, sweetened, blended or something. So you're in the 4%, you're rare.
I feel like that checks. Yeah. That checks out that I would do something like that.
Yeah.
I was always the black sheep there. Oh man. I didn't used to be that way, but I think I had a goal. Me and my buddy had a goal in college. We're like, you know what? We're gonna be like men. Like we're gonna drink it black, and we started drinking coffee. Just hate it, and we're like start like half creamer, half coffee. Every like 2 weeks, we had a plan to just put less creamer until we could work our way down. I feel like it's kind of like bourbon. You know, you eventually could work your way into it. Bourbon's a little tougher, but. And then we got down to it. And then now, honestly, with Frostbuddy, I'm like, just give me the caffeine, the highest caffeine content. 100%. I don't need to.
Luckily, the cold brew tastes better than the standard hot coffee, but it's, you got to work your way there.
And honestly, that's how I got into your brand specifically. I don't even know how long ago this was seeing the fat caffeine content on that bottle. And I just hadn't seen the bottles. And I was like, and they might all have the same amount, but like I was like, oh, well, this is a lot. Like this is what I want. Like that was the smartest thing. Obviously, I'm sure some people maybe steer away because they maybe see like an insane amount, but also like the people like me are like, oh, that's the one I want. I didn't even look at the others. Didn't even look at them. So, and for anyone that doesn't know, there's like a caffeine kind of like there's like 275 on.
Yeah, depends on the item, but call it 225 to 275. On
I think of course I didn't see the 225 one. I just saw the 275. I was like, 275 milligrams of caffeine. That's perfect for me. I want to, be on the verge of a panic attack. That's what I want.
Got a lot of work to do.
Yeah, exactly. I have a big day. I got to pop the L-theanine, and then we'll go. But yeah, so was that a deliberate strategy? Like, is that something that you guys were like, hey, this is just a differentiator that no one's doing, or is that like, how did that even come about?
Yeah, so I'm a researcher. I love data. I was a finance major, so I love analytics and researching. And every year there's this new report that Mintel would put out. So Mintel is like a research agency, and it like basically reinforced the reason that I wanted cold brew is like it tasted better, but it had more caffeine. That was very intentional as a consumer. I want more caffeine. And so the funny thing is our serving size is 12 ounces. Okay. And we used to list it as 8 ounces because we thought the caffeine number was too large. So we intentionally reduced the serving size to intentionally reduce the caffeine amount that we had to list. And then this Mintel report came out and it said that 35% of consumers, their number one purchase criteria is high caffeine content.
Of course it is.
And we're like, wait, so we cut the caffeine number because we were afraid that 35% of people, that's all they want. So I'm like, if we can have 35% market share of this category, that's $1.3 billion. I'm happy to do that. And so we're like, we looked at all the competitors and we're like, we have more caffeine than everyone. We need to be screaming that from the rooftops, and we capture 35% share of the category. So in 2023, we did a full brand refresh. And as a part of that brand refresh, we put the caffeine on the front of the label and like really made it pop out on that neck.
Yeah. Sucked me in. This is genius.
Yep.
It's full genius.
And then our velocities went up like a third just instantly. The second it flowed through, it was just like 30% increase in sales.
Let's go. Full genius.
Yeah.
That's awesome. I love that you can make little tweaks. Is all it takes sometimes, and it's also right under your nose too, right? Like you don't, you just, you could be looking at it, and then you're like, oh my gosh, what was I doing?
Right. I mean, right there the whole time. It was the liquid. The liquid didn't change at all.
Yeah.
Nothing about the product changed.
Pure marketing.
We just communicated it differently.
Yeah. Well, that's how our you drop our to-go buddy, you drop Starbucks into. And we used to do, I was selling it as a 2-in-1 tumbler. I was like, you can put iced coffee into it, or you can put cups into it, or you can pour liquid in. And that was the whole focus, was like 2-in-1, 2-in-1, 2-in-1. It wasn't selling 2,000 units a month, maybe. And we were going to discontinue it in 2024 in the summer. We were like, this is just not worth it. It's not much. And then I had one final go at it. Some TikTok people had made a viral video that was like just pure iced coffee focused. And I said, okay, Scott, let's just completely rebrand this product and just 100% iced coffee. Like, don't talk about soda. Don't talk about porn. I said, don't even talk about the fact that it has a lid. Just iced coffee, drop it in. In November, we sold like 25 or 26,000 units in November that month.
Wow.
We sold out of everything. Like, we didn't have that many units because we were going to discontinue it. We sold out. We sell 300,000 units a month of that product.
Whoa.
And it is purely
holy shit
iced coffee only.
Yeah,
we have never even talked about the lid. The lid, I was like, to us, the lid is just that icing on top of the customer experience now. They get a lid. They're like, oh my God, it comes with a lid too? It's like that when you unbox it. And isn't that like, it's the we almost discontinued it. I mean, it was all the wrong message. That was it.
Yeah.
So I love that. I love that so much. This is a random question, but just because you brought in the supplements, and obviously I'm very open about the mental health thing. L-theanine is a very great supplement, in my opinion, for anyone that is an anxious person. I honestly would recommend it for anybody because it just feels like calms the body down. And I was taking a GABA L-theanine supplement that really helped when I was in a really, really anxious period. Has anyone put just like theanine in coffee? Like already pre-mixed?
I think Super Coffee does.
Not to make you talk about any other brands if they're
no, I think Super Coffee does. I haven't looked at their formulas recently, but I'm pretty sure they have L-theanine in it.
Yeah. I was just curious because I was like, man, like obviously I feel like mental health in the country is just getting worse and worse.
For sure.
Granted, I think there's a plethora of issues with it. We're just not connected to people that much, and social media, and well, clearly people are so interested in how high of caffeine their content can get. That's probably not helping all the time.
Probably not.
But yeah, I was like, man, if I could drink that, honestly, yeah, it does curb the jitter of coffee nicely. So that's why I was like, man, that's probably again, how many people would know? Don't know. But my biggest idea was just a gallon of RTD protein shake. That's what I'm waiting for someone to do. I'm like, just let me go against Big Milk and just put a gallon of protein and put like 500 grams of protein on the label.
Right.
Billionaire.
Yeah, it's actually an interesting point. I'm surprised no one has a multi-serve protein drink. Huh.
Well, that's what I'm saying. That's what when you start thinking about it, you're kind of like, huh, this is kind of there. But if Bizzy does that, please call me before you do that, right, so that I can
find a cold packer. But
yeah, let me be one of those fundraiser rounds, please.
Ride along on my trucks. That sounds perfect.
Yeah. We should talk about it. I'm just saying, I would totally.
That's a good idea.
I would totally do it, and you'd have the distribution.
I'm just surprised no one's doing it right now.
Which is why I feel like as soon as you ask yourself that question, it's like it's probably a good idea.
Well, if there's like a high volume single serve version of a product, a multi-serve version is going to work. I mean, generally speaking, it doesn't soda, coffee hasn't worked in energy drinks though.
Well,
but I don't think anyone's tried it.
Dude, if I had
Oh, yeah, let's try
a
it.
gallon, a gallon of Ghost just sitting in my fridge, I mean, I guess technically it's like this. It is just yeah, you're right. It's not that much different than what you guys are doing, is it? Just
Right. Oh, and I mean, there's giant bottles of soda, no difference. You know what I mean? Maybe like it's the caffeine could be a risk, but throw some warning labels on it.
is that all I was gonna say? So obviously, like caffeine, like usually above, I think it's like 400 milligrams or something. Is it just on your labels? You just have like it's all about like the serving size and it's
Yeah, we just serving
per
size,
serving.
everything's per serving, very clearly stated per serving. But like was it the FDA, USDA? They say 400 up to 400 milligrams of caffeine is like normal, good for you.
Yeah.
I know damn well I'm having more than 400 a
Well,
day.
yeah,
Like,
yeah. People are having.
not even close.
Yeah, I know.
But I think like for certain people that are very sensitive to it, like you want to call it out for sure.
Yeah. Gallon. All right, there it is. The gallon of energy drink. Gallon.
Do some googling after this.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, just text me.
Mm-hmm.
I'll give you all my consumable ideas that I don't have time to do.
It's my world. I know that game.
Well, I think the other thing that people underestimate in like your world, specifically like the distribution of it. Like we're not all online, but like majority online. And then like if we are to sell to someone, you're looking at Dick's Sporting Goods, Walmart, Target. Like we don't have to go to that many. And then I feel like grocery chain wise, there's just a plethora of so many different ones that you've had to go to. And so like I guess getting in them and also just like how many employees are you guys at? Like you have a sales team that's getting in there? Are you the one that's actively getting in there? How does that, are you working through distributors?
Yeah, I mean, so we have like 60 employees. And then we have the sales team is 3, and then I'm probably like, I don't know, 20% of my role is sales. But then we have a national broker network, not a bunch of regional brokers, but we have, I mean, firms that if you added all of their employees, thousands of employees that are selling into the regional stores. And then the product gets there, we sell through a distributor typically. We try to go direct, like Target, we're direct, HEB, we're direct, Publix, we're direct. But if you're getting into your, regional chain, then we're going through a distributor, a Sprouts, or whatever your regional grocer is. There's a distributor there. But I mean, it's tough because there's so many hands that are taking money. The broker's taking commission, the retailer's taking a commission, the distributor's taking money out of it. So it's like it is a game of scale. Now the challenge is like it's a pain in the ass to learn. You can't innovate through the distributor network. Like if you want to move a pallet, you're going through a distributor. But once you have like scale and you're stable, like that thing is almost impossible to get kicked off the shelf unless you like screw up royally. So it's like really tough.
Okay.
But then once you're there and at scale, it just like makes more and more money, and it's almost impossible to screw it up.
Yeah. That's so interesting. It's vastly different. Like I hit January, I'm at 0. Right? Mm-hmm. Like you're not hitting that. And that's why Brandon was the same way when he was on. He's like, yeah, we turn the year, we're back to 0. Now, obviously, you have millions of customers. You're not technically at 0, but it feels that way. Mm-hmm. It feels that way. There's no certainty whatsoever where, you guys can have this like steady build of just continuous growth, which is nice. I am jealous of that part. I'm not jealous. I'm not jealous.
It's pros and cons, right? Because it took us 11 years to get to profitability, and it was so slow and painful. Like we've never made money.
Yeah.
And where now it's like, all right, we've really hit scale. And then to your point, like I know with fairly high level of certainty what my revenue is going to be in 2027.
That's crazy.
With like, that has no impact on marketing. It's just like,
that is crazy.
Same customers, 5% growth at each customer at a minimum. I know what it's going to be generally speaking. And then it's just like, what go gets can I go chase and how can I turn it up more?
I have no freaking clue what mine's going to be. So
yeah,
I'm like, I would be, well, I mean, I have an idea, but I could be so off. I would be so off. We try to, it's
Mhm.
funny, our budgeting, it's like we'll try to plan the year and we'll try to put projections out there. This year we've been fairly close, better than most years. But it's funny, you always finish the month, you're like, well, that was off by a lot.
Yeah, yeah.
Like, and then you see the domino effects of that month. If you either a sell way too much, or you're like, oh shoot, we were not even close. So yeah, that's so vastly different. But yes, the 10 years,
Mhm.
I don't necessarily envy that part.
Yeah, no, I don't.
I'll
Wouldn't do it again, if you know what I mean.
yeah, I'll leave that there. Um, but gosh, I had a good one there, but I guess now what I'm curious with every founder, every honestly most people I meet, like how closely is Bizzy tied to your identity? Like, is it something that is you?
I think the brand, I would say, is a reflection of me, right? Our core values are a reflection of me. Our culture is a reflection of me. But I think busy is a reflection of me, but I am not busy. So like I have, I'm comfortable, like I want to run this business, it's going well, but like if for whatever reason I wasn't running the business, I can say this now,
Yeah,
right? Because it hasn't happened, but like I'm able to separate myself pretty easily.
yeah,
I've been doing it for so long that maybe everyone else is like, you are busy, but I think emotionally, personally,
mhm.
I can separate myself pretty well. I love the product, right? Like I drink cold brew every single day. Most of the time it's busy, but not always. Um, but I'm not like the biggest coffee snob in the world where my identity is in the coffee community or in
Yeah,
CPG. Like I know it well, but like my identity personally isn't like tied to the
yep.
industry. My peers are, other entrepreneurs that are in any particular business, generally food and beverage, but like not always. And so I think I would be fine. If I wasn't in this
Mhm.
seat anymore, I would probably take it just fine.
Yeah, that's interesting. That's I think it's something a lot of founders could definitely, if they were more like that, that would be a healthier spot to be in. A much healthier spot to be. Um,
Now, what I will say though is like, my emotional state is definitely tied to the success of the business.
okay.
But I think that's just because it's been so catastrophic and I've been constantly panicking to raise money every year
Yeah.
that it's like when things are good, I'm good because it doesn't mean it's catastrophic and I'm going to go personally bankrupt because I have all these personal guarantees. So I think in that way, like, yeah, we're probably pretty similar, but from an identity standpoint, I think I'm able to
Yeah.
separate pretty well.
Yeah, I mean, I think you're lying. Anyone's lying to themselves if they don't say the success is tied to, you're gonna feel it. Now, how you
100%. Yeah, you
react to
have
it,
to.
how you still go about your day, that's different. And I've had to learn that they, you know, if a bad sales day or a fire happens, you still just have to operate like normal. And I'm still gonna go to the gym. I'm still gonna go to the grocery store. I'm still gonna do everything. But that is probably the hardest one for sure. Is you're like, damn,
Mhm.
you're it's not your identity, but man, are you connected? You are
Yeah, there's nothing you can do about it.
no,
There's nothing you can do, especially like for me, this is my only asset, right? I'm completely undiversified.
yeah,
And so, like, if that's going well, then I'm like, oh, I feel good and it was all worth it. And if it's not, you're like, man, this has been a long 13 years. Is it going to be worth it? This is not going well. And I think it's impossible to separate that.
yeah. Or is the goal to run it forever? Is the goal to exit?
We've raised money, so in some capacity, I'll have to provide liquidity to those investors. But I mean, my co-founder and I are, majority owners, so it's really like where does the path take us? I think right now it's finally like getting fun, where it was so brutal for so long, where I'm like, all right, this is pretty cool. Um, we just launched our double espresso shots, which I'm
Nice.
super interested to see if those can like be as big as what I'm telling myself they can be, and that's really fun. But at the same time, it's like I'm not, my identity isn't tied to this. So like if there was a, everyone's got a number, right? If like the number was outrageous, you're like, all right, yeah, I could
I
walk
could
away.
part
That would be
ways.
fine.
I could part
Yeah.
ways.
But like, it's starting to get fun. Frankly, I live in downtown Minneapolis or near it on the other side of the river. I ride my e-bike into work. I take the river the whole way. Like it's not bad. It's not bad.
Yeah. Just till the winter. Then it's a little worse.
Yeah.
That's a little,
terrible.
yeah, then it's a little worse. But
yeah, it's going vacation.
Yeah, you just gotta come down to Florida.
That's right.
I saw the double espresso shot, and I honestly might be like a convert from the cold brew to just the espresso shots. To be honest, I am very interested to try those. So, are they how many locations are those in?
So those right now are in, I think today, August 20th, 2026, they're in like 1,300 stores, but we should be in another like 300 in the next like couple of months.
And that was your vision, I assume, if you're the visionary guy.
Yeah.
What was
well, fun fact is I previously launched this product in 2017 and it failed, and now I'm relaunching it in a new way.
Oh.
So hopefully it works this time around. But yeah, I've been kicking it around for a long time.
Why do you think it's going
to? So the way that I like think about it is like our bottles of cold brew, 48 ounce, is basically a cold liquid version of a bag of coffee, right? It's a medium roast. Instead of a pot of coffee, it's a bottle of coffee, but similar thing, right? And that market it's about 16% of the size of the roasted and ground coffee business. Nespresso pods is gigantic. The category is exploding, and there's no cold liquid version of it, and there never has been. And so in my mind, I'm like, if 16% is the size of the prize for cold liquid convenient, whatever you want to call it, this is a huge opportunity. You can all of a sudden immediately have a latte. You can immediately have a cold shot of espresso. You can take it with you. It can be a pre-workout for the gym. You can take it on the chairlift. You can take it on an airplane. So like in theory, if there is the demand and I can communicate it effectively, I mean, this is a gigantic opportunity that we can be a first mover in. As we saw earlier, I gotta communicate it effectively. Yeah. So we'll see if I can do that or not. I didn't do it right the first time, which is why I failed.
I'm thinking about all my girlfriends that they have the Nespresso, but it's hot. It's coming out hot, and then they're making this watered down latte. Gosh, if they could just rip that open and make their iced latte every single morning. You're so right. You're so right.
So hopefully it works. It's been in market for like a year. We've been kind of testing price points and locations and part of the store and pack sizes. And like, I'm wearing a blazer today for the listeners because I had a very large sales meeting. I don't normally dress like this.
I just thought it was for us. It's fine.
No, I'm a so casual guy here. I'm wearing skate shoes every day and a t-shirt and jeans and usually a hat. But we had a big sales meeting today. And so I'm like really hopeful that we've got the price, the pack size, the part of the store nailed, and we can swing for the fences. 27.
Where will that live in the stores? Where's the best place?
So right now, if it's in like the natural channel, it's in like this refrigerated single serve coffee set.
Okay.
But like conventional stores like a Target or a Walmart, they don't even have that. So we're selling them in where our normal bottle is, which is awesome because it's the same buyer. And it's actually an incremental purchase we found so far. So what we're testing is going to do a multi-pack. So do a 4-pack is what we're hopeful we can launch pretty aggressively next year. So it's a better deal for the consumer. But it would be sold right next to our big bottles.
I love it.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
So fingers crossed.
Yeah,
right? It's not proven to be successful yet, but it's early.
I love that. That is so fascinating about entrepreneurship too, that you can launch something that flops. Might be the timing, might be messaging, and then you just bring it back around. You're like, oh my gosh, now's the time where it makes sense.
And do it different, like because we had our old packaging and the same exact liquid without caffeine on the label. We changed it, and velocities were up 30%. Same product. Before we had this, and we didn't have it refrigerated. It didn't taste great. We thought coffee 5-hour energy at the check lane. It didn't work for shit.
Yeah.
And now we have it cold. tastes better. We call it espresso instead of coffee shots. And it's like, oh, all right, I know what it is. I know how to use it. I'm already buying cold coffee. Boom.
Boom. That's awesome. That's how this is our third.
Helps.
This water bottle is our third bottle. The first two were just absolutely terrible. This one brought us into every big box retailer in the country. That's like just a different way to slice it, I guess. Like that's all you got to do.
Yep, it's tiny little tweaks.
But yeah, no, dude, man, this has been awesome. I have learned so much about coffee. I love coffee, so this has been awesome. I think people will love to understand the ins and outs. Also, I love that it's not been so far from easy. And honestly, just sticking to it. I just have one final question before we wrap it up, and I'll see where people can, if you have personal places people can find you, LinkedIn, Twitter, etc. But what kept you going for 13 years? Like what was the light at the end of the tunnel that most people would never see? Most people would say, I hang it up.
Like, so one thing for sure is like my business partner was like there side by side, right? So first and foremost, I wasn't going at it alone. And I knew the category was gigantic, and like, I just hadn't figured it out, but I knew cold brew at home that tasted good. There's a market there, and I just had to like tweak it to figure it out. And I knew that the size of the prize was going to be gigantic because everyone else was going to single serve, and I'm like, this multi-serve, if you can just get a good value, all the whatever first principles, fundamentals were there. I'm like, I believed so much in the problem we were solving. I just didn't have like the perfect solution yet, but I just like was maniacal about solving the problem, which is cold brew is a huge market.
Yeah.
It takes 18 hours to make. It's expensive. If we can just solve a real problem for the consumer, it's going to work. Yeah. And so I just had this kind of unwavering belief that, we can do it.
I love that. I think there's a gut. I've learned there's such a just gut feel to every person, but entrepreneurs especially have just this insane, people are like, how do you know it's going to work? You just know in your gut. You're like, you can see it. And that's the beautiful thing is that like, you could see it. I can't see yours, but you couldn't see my vision for it either. It's like, that's what's so perfect. So no, I think nearly every entrepreneur would probably answer it the same way of just like, I can see it. No one else can. So, but yeah, I mean, if you want people to find you, follow you,
check us out at Bizzy Coffee. Go to your local grocery store. Check us out in the dairy aisle. Try our double espresso shots if they're there. I would love some feedback. Buy them on Amazon. Please leave a review. We've had a pain in the ass getting reviews on this product. Merchant fulfilled, nightmare.
Yep.
I'm personally Alex French on LinkedIn. That's kind of my only real active platform. But happy to connect and share some failures and stories if anyone's interested.
Awesome. I appreciate you, man. I appreciate it.
It's fun. Thanks for having me.